Welcome all to our Pub Sports Radio Cappers Contest Recap Show, where we toast the winners, we roast the losers, and we take a quick look at our 6 wild card games with a special guest as well. Jose, my friend, how are you with the aftermath of this contest?
I'm all right. I could be better. I will admit. We will talk details of the Cappers contest here shortly. But yeah, honestly, if you would have told me season that finishing fourth was in my cards, I would have been really happy with it. If you would have told me that halfway through the seasons, I probably would have jumped off a balcony. So a lot of mixed emotions going on.
Yes, and Sky Dragon says, why does Jose have tears? When are we going to get into the fruits of this show?
Sure. Let's talk about it. Congratulations to our winners as well. We'll have one of the winners on here very shortly. But let's look at our standings here. Peter Loshak, the winner of our contest, and I did put icons for each person. Some people I could use their face, other people I couldn't. So congratulations to Pete, our grand champion. Bobano climbing back to second. My guy, Drug Monkey RX, big Jets fan, in third place. I used the Jets logo for him. I didn't know if I could put a Drug Monkey on there. I didn't know what to put, so the Jets logo just worked out great. I finished in fourth. Ghoster fifth. Trans Canada in sixth. Shout out to Trans. And seventh, Dennis Garcia, a.k.a. Sky Dragon. Of course, he gets a dragon. So you guys might be wondering, Jose, how'd you fall so far? What happened? So Sunday morning rolls around. Our next guest texts me. Why'd you only put in 4 picks? It's like, what? I put in 4 picks? Excuse me? I quickly pull it up. I see only 4 check marks. I immediately text Sean, to the website, blah, 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 blah. It turns out I just fat thumbed and I accidentally unclicked my Washington Commanders +7, which it hurts especially because we talked about it on this program, me and you. We got there. It's on the same conclusion. You bet it on this program. It's one of those times where we power up and we do something well. And I unfortunately did not. I guess I unclicked it or something of the sort. So here are your final standings for the full season. Loshak finishes with 54.5 points. Clear winner. Bobano 52.5. Drug Monkey RX 52. I have 51.5. And if I just put in the Commanders, I finished with 52.5. And it breaks me. It really broke my spirit. And I'm still not over it. I'm still extremely depressed about it. But let's talk to our grand champion here. He's notorious for winning these damn contests now. We might have to ban him from ours now. Who knows? It's one, the only, Peter Loshak joining the...
Hey, how's it going? Jose Bouquett. That's the funny thing about, about depression, really. Everything's always relative. You know what I mean? You can always, you look at where you are, and you could always be doing a little bit better. You could always be doing a little bit worse, unless you're in first place, in which you couldn't do any better. But that's a separate issue. Or I guess if you're in last place, you can't do any worse. But unless you're in first place or last place, things could always be better. Things could always be worse. Of course, this doesn't apply to me in this contest. Things could not be better. And that's something that, when you're at the top, it's a different psychological framework that you have to adjust to and learn how to deal. I read the Stoics to try to figure out, how do I cope mentally and psychologically with being literally in first place. It's a separate issue that you guys don't have to deal with, but it's fine. I'm dealing with it and it's great. My point is, Jose Bouquet, you had a great season. Sure, you could have done better. You could have done worse. Mm-hmm. And the wise thing is to be like, I'm happy with how I actually did.
Yeah, no, that's beautifully put. It sort of reminds me.
I just jinxed myself like 5 different ways with that little spiel, but that's okay.
Reminds me of the glass is half full or the glass is half empty. If it's what is the liquid? Like if it's semen, do the same rules apply?
There you go. Absolutely.
$600, just one click away. Just an extra $600, just one click away. And again, that is why we will be adding next year, because of course, Cappers Contest hopefully will be back next year. The official Jose Bouquett, are you sure you want to submit your picks button next year? So we can for sure make sure these are the picks you want to submit and not accidentally fuck yourself like I did right here.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking about that. I really was concerned about it. I noticed that there's a lot of technical ways that you could put in safeguards so people because I mean, okay, let's just admit to the elephant in the room here, right? Which is that if Ian Cameron hadn't missed a week, he would have been the winner of this contest, very likely. Although maybe I would have tried harder, but then again, if I had tried harder, maybe I would have done even worse than how I did. So you never know. Shout out to Ian Cameron.
That's not the case.
What?
Because I knew what picks he had wanted to submit, and he would have gained 1.5 points.
Is that true?
That's facts.
See, there you go. You really, truly never know what the hell is going on in life. Every time you think you know something, the universe shows you don't know what you were thinking you knew. Wow. I don't know if I love Ian Cameron. That makes me feel good, though, but not got good that he had a bad week. You know what I mean? That's interesting, though. Wow.
No, I'm disappointed, but gentlemen, I have some stats for you while we're here.
Perfect.
Just some stats. First of all, big shout out to Sean, our website guy that has the brains behind the website. Shout out to him. He works tirelessly on it. Whenever someone has an issue, I text him. So big shout out to Sean.
Yeah, huge shout out to Sean.
Let's talk about these, and he sent me these stats because I think some of these are funny. Week 1, these are the notable wins in week 1, or I say in the season. Ravens -7. 33 people on the Ravens -7 cashed it. Only one person took the Jets. Not me. Not Drug Monkey RX. Dan Kelly. Shout out Dan Kelly for taking that 1 L in week 1. Dan, we'll come back to you, though. Don't think I singled you out for no reason, Dan. Week 2, Dolphins +3.5. 30 people were on the Dolphins on week 2 +30.5. 30-4 that pick went. Let's talk about notable losses now, because obviously we want to laugh at people. We want to laugh at our mistakes. The Packers -8 on week 5. 15 people took the Packers -8 against the Giants in week 5. 15 people lost that pick. 23 people in week 16 took the Eagles +5.5 against the Cowboys. They all lost. Very interesting. Those are the two biggest losers right there. So the Eagles and the Packers both cost a lot of people there. The Jets -7 week 1 and Dolphins week 2 +3.5 are biggest winners. Now let's get to the interesting ones now, at the very least, the funny ones. I mentioned Dan Kelly earlier. Week 7, Dan Kelly, the only man in this whole Cappers contest to take the Bears +8 over the Patriots. 18 people took the Patriots that week. Dan Kelly, the only person on the other side, cashes it. So shout out to you, Dan Kelly. On the other side of that coin, Eagles -4. They lost to the Lions. Die Hard MMA podcast. Shout out to you, my guy. He was on the Lions that day. 25 people took the Eagles -4. And Mr. Die Hard MMA podcast cast there. And the last one for you guys, Nasty Nate. Nasty Nate, he took the Eagles -4.5 against Tennessee on week 13. 19 people were against him there. Nasty Nate came out on top and cashed that ticket. So shout out to you guys, and shout out to Sean for some of those just interesting stats there throughout the year. The Packers were killers, murderers, and they got us right in the drink hole.
In ye old drink hole. Question, Pete. As our champ, did you do anything in particular with a 5-game card? Were there any lessons that you learned? Any lessons for us if we want to somehow follow in your footsteps and be a winner of the?
No, I mean, I could say lots of different things, but the truth is, I was just making what I thought were educated guesses. Like, oh, there's only 5 picks a week, so I only have to make 5 educated guesses a week. Great, that's less work. I don't know. I look at what people have to say. At the beginning of that was mostly college football where I watched the beginning of college football season. I watched Ian Cameron and Connor Mack's videos every single game for the first couple weeks of college football. No, I read people on I follow people on Twitter, and some of them say things, and then I'm like, oh, that sounds like it's right, and then sometimes I act on it, sometimes I don't. A lot of times they say things that are opposing one another. Sometimes I'll make a decision and then see something else on Twitter that I realize is probably right, and then I'm like, God, I'm on the wrong side of that. I don't really know, Jim. You know what I mean? I try to look at the games. I try to follow the market. I try to think of like what's the motivation? You know what I mean? I don't know. Like, for instance, in the wild card week, I took the under in Seattle Niners. I don't know. Seattle probably wants to have a shortened game. Niners probably want to have a shortened game. So I was like, I think the under is probably a good bet. I'll bet that. That's it. That's all it is.
I have bet that as well. I under 43. Right there with you on that under.
I mean, okay. I will say one thing. Is that even after all these years, there are so many times when you're just like, man, this team is awful, and people love to talk about like, oh my God, the Bears, they're horrible. This team's horrible. That team's horrible, and they are not that horrible. You know what I mean? You're gonna have those 8.5-point dogs winning outright all the time in the NFL. So I guess that's the one thing. I was a lot looser with picking ugly dogs in the contest than I might have normally been, maybe. You know what I mean?
It was an impressive showing. Nuke Worker says Pete is the truth. Right there.
Pete, I'll add to your commentary there. Everyone knows I'm a baseball capper, primarily focusing on baseball. Just watch Pub Sports Radio's videos, guys. I fucking finished in 5th place watching Pub Sports Radio's videos, listening to the cappers, capping the cappers. So maybe all you have to do is just watch your old channel, and maybe you'll get better at gambling. Who knows?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, the friggin' pimp slap play of the day, the taint play, I mean, all those plays I usually consider very seriously. And yeah, I mean, the way I did it, it was a lot of just rooting around, Twitter, Pub Sports Radio, whoever the hell is out there. Sometimes my coworker who follows the Giants. I don't know. You know what I mean? Just like listening and being like, that seems like a good idea. I'll do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Good point. Billy, by the way, good point here. Pete, you got eliminated in the first round of the Survivor contest.
Right. See, there you go.
Right there with you. I was right there with you. And here's the funny thing about that. Some good stats as well here about the Survivor contest. Shout out to our guy, Friendly Forager, who won the Survivor contest. Jay Yim and him split some of the cash. Friendly won it technically outright. So shout out to him. But Pete, I can almost guarantee we were on the same pick in week 1 of Survivor. Because I don't know, you actually have the Chargers, right? I don't remember.
Bengals.
No. Even worse. The Bengals. That's like the one pick that you knew. Do not pick this team in fucking, don't bet on them first 2 weeks of the season, and do definitely, no matter what you do not take them week 1 in Survivor. Now I know, obviously, a team that had that kind of postseason last year, coming in as a 7.5-point, favorite week 1 against the Steelers. That's the biggest rookie mistake ever in Survivor. I'm not going to make that mistake again next year. That's for damn sure.
Well, it's a good point. You avoided the landmine there because obviously week 1 featured the most amount of eliminations in the Survivor pool. So the team that eliminated everyone, the team that disappointed everyone this season, got me right in the prison pocket. The week 1 loss for the Broncos eliminated 15 people in the Survivor pool. Got everyone out there. Now, and the Survivor pool was kind of quiet from then on out. 4 people the next week, 3 people the next week, 1 person the next week. Then week 6 was a bloodbath here. And Pete, you mentioned that team that got everyone. The Steelers. The Steelers beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in week 6 of the Survivor contest. Jimmy, does that resonate for you? Because weren't you on the Buccaneers?
I was. There was very few of us left in the Survivor pool. But then I loved the way Billy Friedrich handled, because he came on live with us, and he needed a
Yes.
win. And it was, what was the game
It was
again?
Bears Patriots, I
Bears
believe.
Patriots. Yes, Bears Patriots. And all he needed were the Patriots to take care of business, and he would have been $3,360 richer. And they did not, right in front of him. And he handled it very, very well. He handled it. He showed what a class act he is.
Billy, I wouldn't have handled it as well as you. So shout out to you, my man.
It was impressive. Friendly Forager did get the win. They each split 1,000, and then Friendly Forager got the rest. So Friendly Forager got $2,360, and Jonathan Yim 1,000. And hopefully we double all these prizes. All these prizes.
Great.
Yeah.
And by the way, everyone should be paid out right now. The one person that is not is my guy Drug Monkey, unfortunately, and that is because of PayPal. PayPal thinks that I'm a moving weight, so they put a hold on it. So it's very funny. So PayPal, obviously, Drug Monkey, we've talked about it, and we'll get that situation figured out when it comes. But everyone should be paid out as well. So enjoy your spoils of war, everyone, and just remember Pub Sports Radio, and think about us the next time you're on a spending spree.
I love it. I love it. It is time, I think, to break down the 6 games in the wild card slate. I think it is time. Pete, I know you're a busy man today. Are you able to stick around, or do you have to roll?
It's neither one of the main issue is just that I don't really have that much to say about. I mean, yeah, I took the under in Seattle, San Francisco. Obviously, everyone knows that like the fucking Jags are like maybe a teaser side, and I'm thinking maybe the Giants are as well. That one has like whatever you call it, down to the wire written all over it. The Giants are a scrappy team. I don't think Minnesota's going to win by double digits, so I might consider throwing the Giants in a teaser, even though the line is 3 now, I think. Everything else, I don't friggin' know. Tampa Bay in a teaser, obviously. I don't know. I'll hang out. I'll listen to what you guys have to say. I'll look at the comment section.
It's a tough week. It's absolutely a tough week.
I do like the under in the Niners game, though.
Yeah, I like it as well. It's down to 42. My book. I got in at 43. It was funny. I was staring it all day on Tuesday. While I was staring, and it went from 42.5 up to 43. I was like, really? But I like seeing it now down to 42. It's going to be rainy in Santa Clara. But I like the spot as well. Let's take a quick look at what the line history has done here in this one. Move over to NFL and get the Sports Insights back up here as well. Here for the line history, we've had Seattle as 10-point dogs or 9.5, depending on where you shop. They got up to 10.5-point dogs at one point. Totals wise, this is still at 42 here. It opened up at 43.5. Then we'll pull up the line. If there's any implied line value, they have still given San Francisco 49ers line value, 38,376 tickets in, but 32% of the tickets and 51% of the cash is on the Seahawks. So there are bigger bets thinking that the Seahawks will keep it close. 44% of tickets, 92% of cash on the under. And it's a pretty simple breakdown for me here. And look, I know Seattle's defense isn't very strong. They're 27th in third down defense, 24th in red zone defense. Their offense is also not being very good. Since week 14, Seahawks are 2-3 and are 25th in EPA per play on offense. So I'm not afraid of the Seattle Seahawks at all. But I do think that this love affair with Brock Purdy, multiple TD passes in 6 straight games. They've scored at least 33 points in 5 of the 6 games. The only team they played that was over 500 were the Seahawks, and they were the only unit to slow him down. And now they're seeing him again. So the real reason why I like the under so much is because I don't think Purdy's going to I don't think he's going to throw for 200 yards. I don't think he's going to throw for – certainly I don't think he's going to throw for 3. I don't think he throws for multiple touchdowns in this game. I think this is a game where methodically Shanahan pounds the Seahawks run defense over and over and over and over again. doesn't force Brock Purdy to do too much, and we comfortably cash the under 43. That's how I see it.
Yeah, I took that. I took first half under a bit as well at 21. Yeah, why not?
Yeah, I like it. Brooklyn Funk Project says the Cappers contest was fun this season. That was it was great. Everybody being a part of it. We can't wait for the next year of it.
Can we talk about the ugly red herring of this show as well?
Sure.
The ugly red herring of the show is that our Circa Millions ticket, it didn't go the best, obviously. But I do have our final record for those keeping track at home. We did finish. No, sorry. I thought you were going to say something.
Yeah, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it.
Oh, I'm sorry. 42, 45, and 3.
Oh, it's not so bad.
It's not that bad. No, tied for 2,843rd. So
we just followed the public on so many bets, and that's about as good as you can possibly do when you follow the public as much as we did.
Yes. Again, guys, just remember, if we're doing this next year, Jimmy Stalin is going to come through and take away one of your options to vote. So we won't have to worry about.
I can tell you what, we're not doing it the same as we did it this year. or you guys can do it. I'll just wash my fucking hands of it.
So I'm not no public donkey. No thanks. By the way, Pete, I'm pulling up the Circa standings real quick so I can see how you did as well.
Yeah, I actually checked. It turned out 54.5 was just out of the money, tied for 103rd. The winner got didn't even hit 70%, which is
loser. What a loser.
It's a tough show. It's a tough it's a tough contest there. Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes I think there's definitely a few mistakes I know I made that I probably wouldn't have made if I had thought about it a little bit further. But if I had thought about it more, I probably would have also fucked up some other things that I luck boxed into. So who the hell knows? Who the hell knows? Tough contest.
Tough contest. Tough with 5, picking 5. Yeah, very
$2,000, by the way, Pete. $2,681, what you would have taken home if you finished inside that top 100 there.
Well, but then there's also the quarterly payouts and everything.
I thought only the top 50 got paid, Jose.
I'm looking at it on their official thing, and top 80, technically the top 81, at 2,000. Okay. That's what it says.
Okay, top 81. Okay.
So technically top 100, I guess. But
well, let's roll through these final 5 games before we put a bow on it. Let's do because this show, Cappers Contest, helped me enormously.
Shout out to the Commanders.
It solidified my feelings on backing public spots, and my ROI was very high on games I added from this show. So let's talk about the 8:15 p.m. Eastern AFC wildcard Saturday night Chargers Jaguars. You already spoke on the Jaguars, and I am agreeing with this market moving towards the Chargers. Clearly, it's a sign that Williams and Bosa are good to go. I mean, that's what I'm taking it as a sign of. Watching Staley play everybody was absolutely nuts. Kenneth Murray is going to be good to go as well. But we've moved to 2.5. So there's been quite a move from the -1. To give you an idea on the money line, it's been less. The money line opened up at -120, but it got down to -110, got down to -108. Now at -134 at Pinnacle. From a totals perspective, it opened up at 47. That's where it stands right now. Lee Davis says, will there be more contests in future in other sports? Absolutely. Definitely. And we'll start with the March Madness. This will be our next one. So definitely, Lee, lots more tournaments to go here.
Oh, there's going to be a March Madness contest?
Yes. There'll be a March Madness contest there.
Awesome.
Yeah, at the very least, like a bracket challenge on ESPN,
Yeah.
By the way, a little announcement as well. So there will be a special breaking announcement at the end of our NFL segment as well.
Okay.
Exciting. Billy Friedrich Staley still hasn't learned anything. He put Herbert back in on the Monday Night Football game after he got injured or Sunday. Yeah, that was absolutely nuts. But I agree with this market move. The Jaguars. Now look, the Titans defense, where their star players had 2 weeks to prepare. They had 11 days off instead of the 6 that Jacksonville had. I don't think the Chargers defense is as good as Vrabel's Titans defense. But we saw what the Jaguars offense did. It did absolutely nothing. They're the first team since Carolina in 2000 to pull off a fourth quarter comeback without gaining a first down in the quarter. They put up 222 total yards. So I just look, I know they're 4-0 against the spread as home underdogs. And I know their weakness is against, I guess their weakness is pretty much just against the pass, really. 26th in defensive DVOA, but they're bad everywhere. They've been better of late and Jeff Slaughter says we have UFC contest every week, every event on our website. But I want the Jaguars team total under, and I want the Jaguars. I just wanted to wait as long as I could for injury information. Pete, if you were forced to make a bet, $500 free bet on the side, it sounds like you lean towards the Jaguars.
On the side?
Yeah.
On the spread. On the spread.
Yeah.
You don't mean a teaser. No. I really have no clue. I would if I had it, I would just search around Twitter until I came across something that seems like it was a pretty good, breakdown, and then tail that. I really don't know what I would do. I think it's going to be a close game. Herbert is great, obviously. I don't know what I would do. I really don't know. I guess I would take that. I really don't know. I can't even say. I honestly can't even say.
The issue is Mike Williams right now. He's not practicing. I just cannot fathom that they would have had these guys out and Keenan Allen playing the whole game. Rashawn Slater is returning from IR. So hopefully he'll be in the lineup. This is an all-pro left tackle. Joey Bosa is going to be a full participant in practice, so Joey Bosa is good to go. I think the Chargers are the play here. I really do. I think Chargers are the bet. But I haven't moved on it yet because if Mike Williams isn't out there, I don't know if I want to move on it. I really don't know if I want to move on it. Newcorker says free bet. I get the points. Jose, $500 free bet. Chargers, Jaguars. Who do you bet?
I like the Jaguars personally. Just a 500 free. I don't have enough confidence to put my own money on it, obviously, but free money, I take the Jaguars. I agree with your Mike Williams sentiment. I would like both of them to be out there. And truthfully, wide receivers aren't that important either, which is kind of crazy to say. So I think it is that close of a ball game as well. I think defensively, both teams are, pretty equal in my head on at least. It'll ultimately come down between Lawrence and Herbert at the end of the day. And I don't know. It's the first time in Jacksonville for a playoff game in a really long time. So I think that home crowd might give something to Jacksonville and get the defense going a little bit. So I lean Jacksonville, but it's a tough game. It's a very tough game.
I think the difference is all secondary. You have a Jaguars team that's 28th in yards allowed to opposing passers, 29th on third down, 24th in the red zone. I think that's the biggest key to this game. The biggest key to this game is the Jaguars stop the run, and the Chargers are like, well, fine. We don't run anyway.
Yeah.
So,
that's a good point right there. I think that's the best angle of the game. I think as an Austin Eckler fantasy owner, I've watched him all the time. They would much rather throw him that little dump-off pass and hand it to him too. So I agree with that sentiment. And
when the whole season was on the line, Etienne ran 7 times for 17 yards. So I like Trevor Lawrence a lot. I really do. I think he's a gamer. I think he puts himself in dangerous situations because he's trying too hard, which you don't really want maybe in the playoffs. But I think that the Chargers are a better team. Now, did Staley ruin that?
I hope he gets fired for your sake. I really do, because he's not a good coach, obviously. And it's one of those situations where he really saved his job in the last couple of weeks, being competent, but just not a good coach.
Well, that is Saturday's action. So I'm waiting until the last moment here. There's no way this hits a 3 ever. So I think there'll be Jaguars buyback, but we're waiting. We've been waiting for Jaguars buyback. I thought when it moved to 2.5, I was like, okay, now we'll see some buyback. We haven't. So right now back to the cash flow once more because we know that it's moved to 2.5. We have 41% of the tickets and 46% of the cash on Jacksonville. So
it's going to be a fun game. By the way, some other breaking news. If you want it, that neutral site game that they're going to play if the Bills and Chiefs end up in the AFC title game, it'll be in Atlanta.
Yeah.
So there's your breaking news there. And Nate almost got a block. I almost just instinctively blocked Nasty Nate, but shout out to him.
Let's move on to Sunday, January 15th, 1 p.m. Eastern, the AFC wildcard, Miami at Buffalo, Highmark Stadium in Orchard Park, New York. Take a look at the situation line-wise and cash-wise. Andy Molitor moved confidently on the over 46 on Tuesday night in Gridiron Gamblers. Now we know that Tua Tagovailoa won't be in, which I said on the video was what I was saying. I was like, I think it's time to move it to 9.5, and then it just all happened so fast with him being announced out and the line moving to 13. The total is down to 43. So it got up to 46.5 with Tua in, and now it's at 43. This is a pretty difficult spot here. It almost feels like it's a chance for McDaniels to show what kind of coach he is, really. So I know that he's going to be trying his hardest, but there's too many pieces to the Dolphins puzzle that I question. Xavier Howard going from just a lockdown, spectacular, look at this rating here. Quarterback's rating against Xavier Howard in 2020, 48.3. In 2021, 72.6. This year, 101.2. You have, injuries to your key. Tyreek Hill limited by his ankle injury.
Dolphins are fucked.
This could be ugly. This could be very, very ugly.
I wish this was the Jets getting pounded by the fucking Bills instead of these fucking losers.
74% of tickets, 87% of cash on the Bills. 66% of tickets, 64% cash on the over. Mike M says, I'm late to the party. Want to say congrats to Pete again. The fear of public picking you shined.
So Mike M. I tail every play he posts, every pimp slap play of the day that I see from him. I tail it. Thank you to you, Mike M, for all you do for us. Hell yeah, Mike M.
Can I put some pressure on both of you?
Sure.
Yeah.
When are we going to see you guys back on Tuesdays?
We are discussing this. I think that I'm probably in 2 weeks. Probably.
Sure. I'm here. Oh, yeah.
Probably.
I think I'm going to have Gabby Cab on to cover college basketball next week, more in depth. That'll be fun. So we'll have a little bit more time next week to do college basketball if you want.
That'd be good. Yeah, he really wants to be a part of the Tuesday show. So here, what are your thoughts? We'll start with you, Peter, and then we'll head over to Jose. The AFC wildcard, 29 Fahrenheit, partly cloudy, 8 miles per hour at Highmark Stadium in Orchard Park.
Yeah, listen, a lot of, people see the results and they kind of try to pick my brain. I tell them what I think. They're like, yeah, but that's so obvious. Like, I don't know. When the Giants played the Eagles, right? I was like, I'm just going to take the Eagles first half -7. I don't know. Yeah, it's super obvious. This one's the same way. Bills first half -7. I don't know. Obvious, right? Is it bad? -7, -125. Bills first half.
I like that look, Pete.
I mean, why not? I bet it. I think it's good. Jim's not. You think
it makes perfect sense. Makes perfect sense. Why wouldn't they be up by a touchdown at the break? I mean,
how many points?
It's not quite the same situation, just because, like, obviously, but still, it's like, I just feel like the Bills are. Is there any reason to believe the Bills aren't a legit elite team?
Pete, I'm just thinking, how many points is Skylar Thompson going to score? Is he going to score 14 points? He's going to score 6 points each half. Even if he does score a touchdown, I think it'll be 21-7. Like, that's crazy.
It's like I was saying in the beginning of this show, though. You got all these guys who are like, this team sucks. The proverbial my grandma could do better than X in NFL. You, me, Jim, Mike M could block better for Josh Allen and the freaking Bills offensive line. The Dolphins are still, no matter who's on the field, a tough team to come out ahead of by 7 or more in a half a football game in a playoff situation. But I don't think it's like any kind of a slam dunk. think it's worth a shot, though. 7 minus 125.
Yeah, minus 120 in my book. You're right. It does sort of feel like a slam dunk. What do you think?
That's more predicated on just the Bills' eliteness than on what's going on with the Dolphins.
I'll talk about the Dolphins' badness because Skylar Thompson. One of my things that I can do in the NFL is I can immediately identify who's an NFL quarterback and who's not. It's just one of those traits you get as a Jets fan. I can look at a quarterback and be like, "Oh, Christian Hackenberg, you're not an NFL quarterback. Malik Willis, you're not an NFL quarterback. Skylar Thompson, you're not an NFL quarterback. He's just not good enough. Not good enough." I think max points I can see the Dolphins scoring here is 21, 24, 20 points. And I think I really think the Bills could go put up a 40 burger pretty easily. You mentioned the Howard. He's their best corner. The guy that kind of hung their hat on the last couple of years after Minkah Fitzpatrick left. I just really think this could be an easy 24-7 first half spread. And you don't have to worry about the second half where the Bills are trying to fret about them staying healthy, So if I'm making any bets on this play, I'm following Pete right there with that first half. And I'll even eat some juice as well while I do it. Shout out to the juice man, Pete.
Oh, yeah. Uh-oh. Huh?
All right. We do what we do, Jose Bouquett.
Got to.
Try not to, Next year in the contest, try not to chuck a second brick in a row, okay?
All right, Pete.
I just jinxed myself. You're going to beat me. I don't know if you're going to win next year, but you're going to beat me.
Last place next year, Pete. I hope it's just horrific.
It's probably going to be like me next to last, you fourth from last, and you beat me by 2 points.
I'd be okay with that.
Yes, and you deserve it.
Well, I think that this is exactly what I talk about with this show. I think that first half is a good bet. I know maybe it's just so blatant, but I mean, we talk about. It just seems like there'd have to be 2 red zone interceptions for this not to cover.
Yeah, Josh Allen has to be in his interceptions bag. He's. I don't remember if this is 100% certain, but he was one of the league leaders in turnovers, so that's always an issue as well. But I just think the Bills' defense has been shit on all year. I think it'll get better. And again, Skylar Thompson, just not an NFL quarterback. I'd be shocked if they put up 20 points, like I keep saying. I'd be baffled, especially if it's a non-offense scoring,
Let's move on to the middle wild card game, 4:30 p.m. Eastern. Giants, Vikings, U.S. Bank Stadium, Minneapolis, Minnesota. I have not moved on this game, and I don't want to.
This is the most divisive game of the week. This and Dallas, Tampa Bay.
I don't want to. Giants, the best team against the spread all year long. Covered in 4 straight games. Covered the last 4 road games. Their run defense, which was an issue for them, has been cleaned up quite a bit, especially the last few weeks. We're expecting Adoree Jackson, Leonard Williams, and Azeez Ojulari all to be back. So Daboll is a great coach, and O'Connell's done a nice job here as well. KJ Osborne has stepped up for the Vikings. We know that they can win in tough situations. They haven't covered. They're 2-8-1 against the spread in their last 11 games against NFC opponents. Their defense is bad. They allow 265.5 passing yards per game, 7.3 yards per attempt. But how did the Giants beat you? They don't beat you through the air. So I don't think it hurts them so much here. We know that Minnesota's passing game is much better than the Giants, but it takes a lot more than that, to win a football game. Zadarius Smith and Harrison Smith both going to be available. I still think Garrett Bradbury will be available. If it's Chris Reed going up against Dexter Lawrence, I'll immediately bet the Giants. Immediately. But you have things playing against each other. Vikings 12-0 on the money line is favorite. The Giants 10-2 against the spread as an underdog. And I know a lot of people have been saying Vikings are frauds. I don't know if the Giants are too far away from that. And so I'm very uncomfortable here to move it all. Let's just take a quick look at the spread and then hand it over to our guys, Pistol Pete and Jose. This opened up with the Vikings minus 2.5 and minus 126, which is basically what it is right now, -3, minus 102. No real difference there. Total opening up 47.5, up to 48.5. I was fortunate to cash the over when these two teams played, a few weeks back. We have 53% of the tickets, 91% of the cash on the Giants. I'm certainly not going to go up against that kind of what I perceive as sharp action. 51% of the tickets, 58% of cash on the over. I find this the most difficult game on the board and one that I fear. Pete, we'll go with you. What do you think here, Giants, Vikings?
Yeah, I find this difficult, but less difficult than some of the others, like the Jags game, I guess. I definitely would be leaning Giants just because, I'm just a believer in Daboll and in the system, even at this point in the season. Being better than market valuations. I didn't bet the Giants. I'll probably use them. Well, maybe I'll use them in a teaser or a few teasers in some kind of way here. And if the Giants are, down significantly at the half, I'll probably have a bet on the Giants second half. I think the line is good and it makes a lot of sense. But I just don't see the Giants really getting blown out. So I'm very tempted to use Giants in a teaser. And in this one, I can answer your $500 free play question on the spread. Definitely would put it on the Giants at +3.
What about the total at 48.5?
Oh man, see, now you're at this is like a CNN interview here. I don't know. At first glance, I would have said over, but the more I think about it, the more I look at it. I'm not sure if I would agree with that. I would say the total. Yes, total is an extremely difficult thing for me to think about and scary to think about. I have no clue.
New Corker on Danny Dimes over 40.5. Sky Dragons on the Giants and the under. What is Jose going to do?
I like the Minnesota Vikings, honestly. I think this is like we won't know until the day of, but I feel this has all the ruminations of a public dog going to Minnesota and just fucking getting crushed by the Vegas Lords, having them come up. Now, I don't know how long it's been since I guess the Vikings clinched the playoff spot. Everyone has just been saying, I can't wait to bet against the Vikings. I can't wait to bet against the Vikings. And I really think that Vegas just takes a bath and enjoys all this public money going on the Vikings or on the Giants, excuse me. And obviously I'll ask you day of, or should I say Saturday, because Saturday, NFL Pub Hub, come watch us then. I just really think that I could see the public just getting eaten alive by the Vikings here. They win this week and then just get hammered next week by an actually good squad, because I don't think the Vikings are I keep mixing the names. I don't think the Giants are a good ball club at the end of the day. Wide receivers, none to really be spoken of. Danny Dimes is okay. Saquon Barkley is good, of course, but how long or how far can a running back take you? I don't trust Danny Dimes as much as I do Kirk Cousins, which is a shocking thing to say. But ultimately here, the thing that everyone's going to keep saying is Daboll. He's the best coach not named Shanahan left in the playoffs. And I think that's all well and good, but you need the bodies. You need some bodies out there. So give me the Minnesota Vikings here. It's a tough game, obviously. I think all these playoff games are pretty tough. I probably won't have many bets on the NFL this weekend, but if I'm making a $500 play here, give me the Vikings.
Yeah, I find this one the most difficult game on the board. I'm pretty comfortably going to stay off at this point. X45, we did polls throughout the year for every game here. This is our first awards show. Maybe next year we should do polls for when we do this wildcard breakdown, but this was sort of a
impromptu kind of thing.
I just wanted to talk the games out one more time.
This is our last show of the year for the Cappers contest, allegedly, because who knows what Jimmy might be fiending for next Thursday. But I appreciate you, X45, for joining us at the last show, though.
Yeah. Sky Dragon, the 49ers weren't in multiple Super Bowls. The Seahawks are. or were. So the 10-4 straight up against my precious Shanahan. Sky Dragon, you bet Seattle money line, take it right to the bank, man. Put a big bet on it. You'll be laughing. You'll be so rich. Fuck, that's gorgeous. Let's move on. 8:15 p.m. Eastern. The Sunday night wild card game will be here live bet streaming. It looks like we are going to live bet stream all three of these games on Sunday. We're discussing that and figuring that out. We'll be promoting that as soon as we make the decisions around that, which should be shortly. Lee Davis says Giants aren't public. I don't. I only consider something public when it's over 60%. So 53%. I don't really. So, I mean, yeah, there's more, tickets on the Giants than the Vikings, but I don't know if I'd go as far as public yet. Maybe that changes. We talked about this on the show, that all signs were pointing to Lamar Jackson not being in the lineup. And as we talked about that, I did a bit of a deeper dive when the show was over on Tuesday, and I bet the Bengals at -7. They're up to -10 at Pinnacle right now.
Jesus.
So, yeah, it was a nice spot to grab and probably would have been worth a double-up situation.
Well, Jimmy, me and Pete have a joke about this on Tuesdays. You can just go ahead and mark that one down as a W, because once you beat the line movement, and even if the bet doesn't win, you mark it down as a W. You're good. You're good. You did your job, right, Pete?
There was a crazy example of that very recently. It was so bad I was going to text you about it, but I didn't even bother. But yeah, I had beat a closer by a ton and lost by a mile over the past month. I can't remember what game it was. Completely forgetting.
It happens to me in NHL totals the most. When you just destroy the line and you take a fucking L. Baltimore, 27% of tickets, 54% of the cash. Baltimore's defense is strong, really strong, and got stronger as the year went on and getting healthier now. So I understand why the total is where it's at, and it's very low. It's down to 40.5 right now. I kind of wish I got in on that earlier, and I didn't, and I'm probably not going to. Slow Jam says Huntley didn't practice. This is my guy Ricardo Gutierrez now. What up, Ricardo? But 93% of tickets are on the under, and if it's Anthony Brown, how can you lose the under with pick sixes and mistakes like that? But I'm pretty happy that I moved when I did, and I also moved on the Bengals to win the AFC and to win the Super Bowl. So I got 400 plus 750. I imagine it's still there.
Shout out to you, by the way, Jimmy, because my two, I have three. I've been on the Eagles all year, but, I think the Bengals and the 49ers are the two best teams in football. So shout out to you.
Well, I love that, and I would love that here. Love that. And Sky Dragon wants the 10 that's available at Pinnacle of Baltimore.
God, I love Sky Dragon. Just dive it into this shit. Just fuck the quarterbacks. Doesn't matter. The uglier, the better for my guy, Sky Dragon. So shout out to him.
Top Crocodile, I disagree vehemently. The Bills are going to be the most public bet team this weekend by a landslide. And right now you have 27% of the tickets on Baltimore, and more cash has been bet on Baltimore than bet on the Bengals. So I know a lot of sharp money is going to come in on Baltimore at double digits, and you have a great coach. You have a coaching advantage, and you have a defensive advantage, and defense travels and all that stuff. We'll go around the horn here. We'll start with you, Jose, and we'll close with Pete. Ravens, Bengals. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I don't have much to say on this one, so I can pass it to Pete pretty quickly. Anthony Brown, not an NFL quarterback, sucked at Oregon. I'm just shocked that this guy's fucking playing NFL football and getting paid for it, to be honest. I honestly, again, I'll keep saying this. I talk about the Jets sweepstakes and how I want them to get a new quarterback. I do not want Lamar Jackson. Get that guy the fuck away from my franchise as far as possible, because that guy, by the way, Pete having a fucking medical. Pete, they fucking out to get you, Pete. God damn. Mute you real quick. But no, I just don't think Lamar Jackson's a good quarterback and a quarterback I'd want on my team. So I do not mention him for the Jets. Anthony Brown sucks. Tyler Huntley's okay, but just not very good. I do kind of lean towards an under, obviously, but the total's super low. I just think Joe Burrow and the Bengals go to work, take them out, and do their thing. So, no thanks.
What do you think, Pete?
Oh, I don't. I mean, maybe Bengals. I don't know. I mean, yeah. I mean, if you gave me a free play, I'm seeing 9.5s around. If you gave me a free play, I guess I'd throw it on the Bengals, but that's just free play and with 1.5 seconds worth of thought put into it. I think Huntley will be okay from everything that I've seen and read.
I don't know if he starts.
No,
he's hurt.
Is he? Is he? He's that bad hurt?
We don't know exactly. Why did he miss today's
shoulder soreness? Right?
Tendinitis. I think when, God, I mean, what a dream it would be. I think that if Dennis likes, I think you got a deep dive on Huntley right now, and if you like the Ravens and think there's a chance Huntley will start, then take the 10 right now, because it certainly won't be at 10 if Huntley's in.
Really? I kind of thought this might be the number with Huntley, and if it was Anthony Brown confirmed, it would keep going up.
I agree. It'll keep going up, but I don't think this is the number with Huntley. I think the number with Huntley is 8.5 max.
Yeah, okay. Fair enough. By the way, Billy Friedrich also mentioning this. The Jets haven't had a decent quarterback since Brett Favre. My ideal Jets quarterback, the Jets quarterback that I want now the most, is as old as Brett Favre. So let's just put it like that. I won't talk Jets football too much, but I want another old man on the Jets next year.
But Top Crocodile, the 4.5 point line move is not because the public's hammering the Bengals. It's because of an injury. It's because they thought Lamar Jackson would start and then he's not starting. Then line moved accordingly. Because as I said, we still see more money that's been bet so far on the Ravens than the Bengals. But we don't need to hum about this stuff. Okay, let's move on to the final game, Monday nighter. We'll be live here for this one. I think this is as difficult as any game here, and maybe I
love this. I love this shit because people are going to war over this. They are just fighting it out right now. And of course, I live in Texas, so it means a little bit more here. But man, every Cowboys fan you talk to is shitting their fucking pants because they know if they lose this game, fucking dump the franchise. Mike McCarthy's fat ass is done if he loses this game.
I find it extremely difficult. But from an X's and O's situation, and we'll start with the line history here. The line history has the Buccaneers, +3. They're now at +2.5. The total goes from 44.5 to 45.5. And cash wise, 59% of the tickets are on the Buccaneers. They being the public dog, and 71% of the cash. So it means the sharp actions on them as well. Total wise, 49% of tickets on the over, 73% cash on the over, and they trust that over. For the X's and O's, though, is that when Terrence Steele got hurt, the Cowboys have not been able to move the ball on the ground nearly as well as they could before. And then Dak Prescott's numbers between week 11 and 18 under pressure are horrific. 56 quarterback rating, 48.9 Pro Football Focus grade, 5 touchdowns, 5 picks, 298 yards on 207 dropbacks.
What's the interception streak up to now? It's like 8 games straight with an interception.
Seven straight with at least 1 interception and 3 pick sixes in his last 4.
Oh, that's Black Kirk Cousins for you right there. Oh my God.
But you have to think that they're getting Leighton Vander Esch back. The defense has not looked good since he left. I said the secondary stopped looking good when Anthony Brown got hurt. And I took all the heat for that. They've just been getting less than and less than and less than. That's what keeps happening to the Cowboys. And here with the Bucs, we have the opposite. It looks like, and we need to wait a little bit longer to be confident on it, but it looks like Hainsey's hamstring injury is not going to be such a big deal because Tristan Wirfs and Ryan Jensen are going to be back. And if that's the case, this is a totally different offense. But I'm hesitant to be on the side with the public in this spot. I'm hesitant with this game. I'd love to hear you guys. So you have some real strong feelings about it. So why don't you take over, Jose?
Give me the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, man. I've watched this old motherfucker do this too many times, and I've seen the same story from the Cowboys every damn year, and it's hilarious. Shout out to I think it was 8-year anniversary of the catch, or the non-catch, I should say, Des Bryant and the Packers. I just really think this is just one of those cases where Tom Brady just really was ramping it up and ramping it up and ramping it up until the playoffs. And I think the Bucs also realized what they are. They're not a team that can run the football. They just can't. And they said for every week until like the last 2 weeks of the season, we have to run the football. We have to run the football. We can't let this old man fucking do everything. But they realize now it's like, all right, well, we can't run the football, and this old man broke a completion record and is somehow in the top 5 of passing yards, even though he throws 2 yards down the field every fucking time. Their runs have turned into Tom Brady dump-offs, which you could say it's just as efficient as a dump-off, just because he's that good. And really, it's just I don't trust Dak Prescott. I made this flip beginning of last year, beginning of this year, maybe. I don't even remember now. I defended Dak for a really long time. And I guess is maybe when his ankle turned upside down was the turning point of his career. He's just not the same guy. He doesn't run the football anymore. And that was always one of the big things he did really well with Mississippi State. And I would be fucking traumatized from running the football too if I got my ankle turned 90 degrees as well. I don't think he's a good quarterback anymore. It's going to be a lot of Tony Pollard and Zeke. I think that this Buccaneers offense is at least good enough to stop the run, limit the run, give pressure to my man Dak Prescott here. But ultimately, just give me the Bucs here. I'm not going to bet against the GOAT and hopefully the next quarterback of the New York Jets.
That's wild. What about Pete? This game is just people are just really extreme on either side. My first gut was Cowboys, but then studying how they're getting weaker and it looks like it's the opposite with the Bucs, I was like, oh God. What do you think, Pete?
Well, I mean, I did make a bet where I teased the Bucs with the Jaguars. I think I already mentioned that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Am I okay? Yeah. So I teased the Bucs with the Jaguars just because it seemed like the right thing to do at the time. I don't know, man. I mean, it's Dak. Weren't people saying the same thing about Stafford last year, though? Wasn't he stinking it up at the end of the season last year and pick sixes and all that shit too?
Yeah,
weren't they? I'm not saying. I mean, yeah, but then again, I do like the momentum and for real, the experience of Brady matters. I don't feel bad about using the Bucs in a teaser. But as far as an actual bet is concerned, if you gave me a free play on it, I honestly have no clue what I would do. I'd probably put it on the over. If I had to put it on the total, oh God, I have no clue. I mean, on the other side, I have no clue what I would do. I would put it on. I really don't know. No, I put it on the Bucs, but that's a coin flip in my head.
You know what? I'll say this. Obviously, I'm a junior capper in the junior cappers division still. The NFL is easily the sport that goes from the easiest to the absolute shit hardest at the end of the year. Like these lines, I think the lines are just so good at the end of the year that it just makes it so tough. And I'm sure if you looked at like the cappers contest, like collective, like winning percentage or whatever, it's like, the beginning of the year, we're all killing it. And then like, as it goes on, it just keeps going lower and lower. And it's obviously because books get smarter. They know the teams better. They set the lines better, et cetera, et cetera. It's just fucking backbreaking in the NFL. Just fucking kills you.
Yeah, it's lines.
That was beautiful, Jose.
Thank you.
No, I mean,
I'll admit, guys, hand up. I had a beer. I'm a little tipsy. Hand up. I'll admit it. One beer is all it takes.
We're also a little bit. I mean, sometimes things tend to get a little clearer closer to kickoff. Yeah, I mean, I think that like Dak. I predict that Dak will surprise and play a better game than people are expecting. That doesn't necessarily mean that Dallas has value as a favorite, though. Yeah, I like my Bucks teaser play, but yeah.
It's the perfect live betting situation.
Yeah,
You'll be able to, if you wait for the right time, whatever team that you like, you'll be able to get at a plus number.
Or second half.
Man, I would fucking love if the Cowboys went up 14-0. I would pounce on the Brady Bucks there. We've seen it again so many fucking times. And maybe I've gotten to the point in my life where I used to hate that fucking anorexic asshole. Now I've come all the way around where I want him to be my quarterback next year. So maybe I've come that way. I'm a little bit biased in that sense, but he always finds a way to do it, and it just becomes old hat at this point.
It's going to be a lot of fun. That's our Monday night live bet stream right there. It's going to be a lot of fun. Wild card weekend ahead of us. We have our champion from our first ever Cappers contest right here, Pistol Pete Loshak. I'm going to go bet the Bills first half -7.
I mean, well, let me ask you a question, and probably people in the comment section can comment a lot better. Just, people who really know this shit year in and year out. Do big favorites like the Bills come in, and sometimes it's hard to imagine that would be the case, but do they sometimes overlook their opponents early in the first half or quarter? They might for the first whatever.
I don't think they do because of, and I know we want to hear from the chat on this, but the DeMar Hamlin thing changes.
Yeah,
just changes it, and there's talk that he might be at the stadium.
Right.
Oh yeah, I'll tell you what.
That's the biggest moneymaker right there. If you can find out what game DeMar Hamlin is going to be at, you fucking hammer the Bills. And if the Bills were smart, don't use him this game, use him the next game. Because if he's there, the fans are going to go crazy. The players will play better. We all know that shit. Let's be smart, Bills PR. Be smart. Next week is when you use them.
Because next week, Bengals are going to knock them out the box, Rick.
Yeah, fuck yeah. I love the Bengals. I love the Bengals a lot. I think it's going to be Bengals, Eagles, or 49ers there. So use them next week, Bengals. Be smart.
Yeah, I do think it's definitely not a no-brainer situation as the Eagles' first half against the Giants, I think, where they were a first-half team anyway. But I also think it's a don't overthink it situation, If you lose a unit in a quarter, okay. If you double up on it and you lose 2.5 units, that's not good, but okay.
There is more to the award. There is a trophy.
No shit.
And you will have your name engraved and your points,
so
that we'll know, over the years, who has the greatest ever season in the Cappers contest, all that stuff. Because we all want to play the Cappers contest every year for the rest of our lives. And we want to follow who has the greatest year, who got lucky to get the cash, and all that. So you will have your name engraved forever and ever, which is probably just 60 years, right? Pete?
When I was in 6th grade, I won the quote unquote commissioner's award in my little league, which was given to like the player who was not that good but a nice kid. You know what I mean? And that was one of my top 5 most treasured possessions until it fell apart about 15 years ago. But oh my god, a trophy.
A trophy,
and we're going to be front and center in my house.
I'm trying to get Jeff to have a trophy case in the Southtown.
There is a trophy there. Well, there's not a trophy case, but there is a case. We can put a trophy in it.
No, I want like a real nice case there, so we can have the Cappers contest trophy. And what's our other
Survivor?
The
UFC
NFL Pub Hub. NFL Pub Hub.
NFL Pub Hub.
Yeah. I'm going to have a photo shoot with that, and I'm going to put that on my profile on Twitter. And Bumble.
You should put that on your Bumble. I guarantee you'll get more swipes right if you put it on your Bumble profile. Last announcement.
Yeah.
We are doing one more special thing. We said we were gonna toast the winners and roast the losers throughout this year. We're not dickheads. We're not gonna be absolute dickheads. Let's look at the last place person. Kent Davies, 6-4, forgot his password. Kent Davies, look at me in the face, Kent Davies. Congratulations. Since you finished in last place, you get a free entry in next year's NFL Pub Hub. NFL Cappers contest, I should say. So congratulations, Kent Davies. If you're watching, you just won yourself a free entry in the Cappers contest next year by way of finishing in very last place. So sometimes people say it doesn't pay to lose. In this case, it does pay to lose.
See, I think that should have gone to somebody who made every pick. But
I thought so too. It's not my call though, unfortunately.
Well,
I would have
Kent Davis.
I would have given it to my guy Alex Hills, who we talked about throughout the year.
Yeah.
Alex Hills, who was in last place for a long time, finished at 17-29. Shout out to you, Alex Hills. But Kent Davies gets it. And Billy Friedrich asking a good. Maybe he's no longer with us. Who knows?
Billy Friedrich with the dark humor. I like it.
Who knows? Who knows? He might. Hey, Pete, who's joking? Who's joking? He might be dead for all we know. Kent, if you don't claim your thing, then we'll give it to someone else deserving. But yes, these are our bottom few. Someone wanted me to show it again. Mike M, and he's a member, so I've got to. Picks from Dave. You son of a bitch. Make your picks. You wouldn't be in third to last place. And now we'll all laugh at these people. But yeah, shout out to Kent Davies.
Kent Davies gets it. And but we should close on a congratulations toast to our very own Pistol Pete Loshak. Got that cash, won just over $2,800.
$2,450.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yep, paid out too. And again, shout out Friendly Forager, wherever you are out there. Check your email and email us so we can pay you too.
Congratulations to all the winners, especially the winner of our first ever Cappers contest, Pete Loshak.
Hell yeah. Thanks. Huge shout out to Slaughter. Huge shout out to Slaughter for putting all this together and having the contest and everything. Huge shout out to the entire Pub Sports Radio family and Slaughter. Thank you so much.
Yep. Shout out to Jeff. And we'll see you guys next year.